Legendary Island Explained. First, you gotta go through the hardest part of the challenge, paying for it. It'll cost you 768 emeralds, which is honestly not that much, but, you know, it's somewhat costly, I guess. In this challenge, after each boss, you get an opportunity to leave and take some rewards. So if any of the bosses I'm about to explain seem too tough for you to do, you can go as far as that boss and then take your rewards anyway. You don't have to 100% the legendary challenge each time if you're not strong enough. First up, the boss is ranked in the bronze tier. First you fight the mummy board! The mummy board has just a couple of phases and no other gimmicks. So in all honesty, they're probably one of the most simple enemies to fight. Just make sure you can dodge or tank their attacks and then continue on. Next up is the Caucus Virus Doctor. He has a bunch of these little dweebs that chase you around the arena. You just kinda gotta not get swarmed by them and focus on the Virus Doctor and you'll take him down. Caucus Accipi... The Caucus Accipientes, yes. It is a shapeshifter, so it has a bunch of forms you gotta beat up. There are 5 forms total. The forms have like slightly different spells from each other depending on the form, but it's not really that big of a deal. Just make sure that when the 5th form runs away, it doesn't accidentally get stuck in a wall, dropping the boss drop inside of the wall, because that's one of the most annoying things that it can do. Next up are the silver tier bosses, 3 of them. Next up is the Trojan Idol. What is its gimmick? It has 10 phases! Does it do anything else with that gimmick? No, not really. It's just a really resilient mob. You just gotta whittle through its 10 phases and then move on through the silver tier. Next up is Yayabot version 4.04. So basically, you're fighting it, and then like, dude, suddenly you get teleported to this rainbow land, and then suddenly the walls compress, so it's kinda claustrophobic. Then, like, you end up in a castle with Goombas and other weird things like that. And then, like, you end up in a swamp with these, like, nightmare dudes, and then, like, dude, on top of a meteor, dude, it's like, it's so rad. Then, after the meteor, there's a section where you actually have to subscribe to Duoface Gaming to see more Wynncraft content to beat the boss. Like, can you believe that? You shouldn't, because it was a lie. Anyways, after that, you just destroy the boss and move on. Simple as. Next up is Death Metal! This dude's main gimmick is that he spawns in Tower of Ascension bosses, like the fake death that is on the top of the Tower of Ascension. He also has 2 phases, and he's constantly jamming out on his guitar. On to the 3 gold tier bosses. First is the Corruptor of Worlds! This dude, just like the Corruptor of Worlds, will sprint at you and deal rapid damage, just like the real Corruptor. Your best bet is probably to keep it in place, or have a build that can just take it, or rush it down faster than it can rush you down. Otherwise, you might just have to cope with being shredded, and if you like that, I'm not one to judge, you know? Then you battle Robob's Reinvention, a robotic version of Bob with 4 phases, just like the regular Bob fight. And also like the regular Bob fight, he has his elemental swords floating around. It's basically just the regular Bob fight, but buffed, so if you know how to fight Bob's reincarnation, you'll kind of have a rough idea for how to fight Robob's Reinvention. The last boss of the Gold League is the Orange Cybele, based off of the Orange Weibel. It's just a harder version of that. There'll be hordes of Weibels that'll attack you, these unkillable fire things that'll fire breath you, and the main Orange Weibel that you gotta focus on. And I'll mention it may look like it has 5 phases, but the 2nd and 4th phase are a rage phase in which it can't be killed. You simply have to wait that phase out, and then in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th phases focus on attacking it. Once you take down the 5th phase, it'll be done for. So that's the gold tier done with. Now we gotta make it to the 1 boss of Diamond tier. The 1 boss in Diamond tier is also the 1 boss in Legendary Island that isn't based off of a boss you've previously fought. It's Dr. Legendary! And he's just really strong. He has like 3 phases with different attacks, and there are also bombs that you can't kill that just kind of sit around the arena and detonate over time. You basically just have to be careful of your positioning so that you don't get blown up, and focus on attacking and surviving Dr. Legendary! Once you've completed the Dr. Legendary boss fight, you can claim the greatest reward consisting of a diamond token and some other tokens. It's the only way to get diamond tokens, so if you can't beat it, I honestly won't judge you. I mean, hey, some people are content with gold tokens, maybe even silver tokens, bronze tokens. I mean, hey, you might even be content with no tokens. This has been the Legendary Island Challenge summarized, and I'm curious to know, how far can you make it into the Legendary Island Challenge? Can you beat it solo, or do you lose earlier on to something like Robob's Reinvention? I'm genuinely curious to know, so perhaps leave a comment? This has been Duoface, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and if you do intend to take on Dr. Legendary's challenge, I wish you the best of luck. Bye!